We're gonna do a speed run, guys. How fast can I review Rebel Moon 2? Rebel Moon 2 is worse than Rebel Moon 1. Not because it's particularly worse shot or particularly worse dialogue or particularly worse choreographic. I mean, it's got some pretty bad choreography. Like, there's one point where Korra kicks one dude and 6 guys fall over, and then she runs at them with a gun, and the guy with a sword backs away from her, and she shoots all the guys with the gun. None of the bad guys shoot her with a gun, and then she beats the guy with the sword with a gun in melee range. It's just awful. Especially like the symbolism of the giant engine for the ship, which is literally a girl strapped down with cords force feeding energy into her mouth, and then she feeds the energy out of her back into the ship. It's like the weirdest Geiger fail design. Like, it's not H.G. Geiger design, like it's just fail Geiger mimic. Terrible. The final fight scene boils down to the bad guy choking Korra out instead of stabbing her with a knife or a dagger or, I don't know, the sword that's like 2 feet away from him. Instead, he gets stabbed by the farmer. What else is really shit? They're there to fight for the grain. And they're like, we can't destroy the grain because they put the grain against the wall. So we can't use our orbital guns. And then like 2 seconds into the fight, they're like, oh, but if we capture the Scar Giver, that means it's all alright. We don't need that grain. And I'm just like, what? Now what the fuck was the point with the grain? Like, seriously, what the fuck? They did do one good thing. One of the characters got stabbed with a laser sword, and she was a hero, and she died. Better than Star Wars. Yay! Literally the only good point in the movie. I mean, there was one other good shot that actually looked pleasing to the eye, which was at the very end, where they had all the villagers lined up on the hill, and they had a bunch of funeral pyres near the fields, and it was just a good looking shot. It was literally the last shot of the film. I went, yeah, that's a good looking shot. The rest of the film looked terrible. There was many times where people literally were just standing out in the open, and the enemies had clear shots, and they just didn't shoot. They just didn't shoot. I was just so annoyed throughout the whole movie. The slow motion is just awful. The first 40 minutes of the show is just slow-mo farming. I mean, if you want to do slow-mo farming, make a farming show and do slow-mo farming there. Like, be like Jeremy Clarkson, call it Snyder's Farm, and do a bunch of farming slow-mo shots. Like, I mean, I'd watch that. If that was, what I was going there to see was, farming in slow motion. Like, I can get behind that. I can dig that. But when I'm watching a fantasy sci-fi epic, what I really want to care about is the minutiae of slow motion farming. Yeah, dude. Nah, dude. You know what I want to see? I want to see a protagonist that has like a weird job. Like, let's say he's an insurance investigator and he has to fly around the cosmos and make sure people aren't committing insurance fraud. I think that could be a really cool like sci-fi epic sort of thing. Like, you got this like weird dweeby guy, but he's like really skilled at like investigation. He's also really skilled at, combat techniques because, he gets in all these sticky situations. And it's all about like, all right, I gotta use my brain to make sure that I can solve this insurance case. Make sure they get the legit insurance claims, Have something fun. Don't just do fucking Star Wars, but shitter. Anyway, the main reason why I want to do this review in speed mode is because Zack Snyder on Netflix blocked my original video. It's perfectly within copyright, yet they fucking manually blocked it and I got pissed off. And so I'm making a Rebel Moon 2 review, and the fucking Rebel Moon 2 sucks. It's awful. It's 2 hours of your life wasted. Thank God it's only 2 hours. I was like, please don't be 3 hours. And I was pleasantly surprised to see it was only 2 hours. Like, fuck yeah. Especially when you can put like fast speed on. I was literally watching most of the movie at like 1.2 to 1.5 speed. And then during the super duper slow farming, I put up to 4 times and it was just normal speed. Like, just complete waste of time. If you're watching this like at 1x speed, you are, I don't know how you did it, dude. Congratulations. You should get an achievement just for being able to watch Rebel Moon Part 2 in normal speed. Just wait for Rebel Moon Part 1 and Part 2 extended in normal speed. It's going to be like 8 hours of just slow motion farming. Anyway, I hope you guys hated Rebel Moon 2 Part 2 just as much as I did. I hope he doesn't get a third movie. I'm sick and tired of Zack's movies. The guy needs to learn to like have moderation, you know? You can't do slow motion in every scene. You can't do slow motion fucking farming, dude. It doesn't look cool. It's just a fucking faff. Alright, see ya.